Hey man, it's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Now let's go ahead and get into Ready to Love. Listen, y'all. I'm glad this show is coming to a close. Okay, these people have been out here playing with our time and stuff. It's funny because I thought most of the guys at the beginning of the season were going to be on BS. Make no mistake, there were quite a few that were on some BS. But towards the end, it was the ladies that kind of got on my nerves the most. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this episode, the final episode of Ready to Love. So Vernisha brings Joel out to meet her family. She has her stepdad there, her mom, as well as her daughter there. She lets him meet the family. As soon as he gets there, her mama started plowing into him. Asking if he's the right man for her and what his intentions are. And he says that he is the right man. I just don't recall him really laying out what his intentions are. He tells her that he's a good guy. The mom was concerned about whether he'll be a good guy for the kids. He was like, of course, I got kids of my own, but would she be a good, fit for my kids and stuff? And so he goes on to talk about the fact that he really likes Vernisha, so he says that she's a good person on the inside and the outside. At times, she can be a bit bossy, more bossier than what he needs her to be. So she may have to tone that down just a little bit, but he wants her to always be able to feel free to be who she is. You know what I'm saying? Be herself, wherever she is, But he also goes on to talk about I believe he was asked about whether or not he wants to be a father figure to 3 more kids. And he says that Joel says he has no issues walking into a ready-made family. So that's what he says, because he already has 2 kids. And a question was also asked to her at a later time. But the end thing is that Joel has no issues with that. So he says that it's very important about who he chooses to be with, because they're also going to be somewhat of a mother to his kids since the kids no longer have their mom. And for Joel and Vernisha, I feel like Joel does like Vernisha. I feel like later on when we saw her meet his family and they pinpointed the fact that she likes him more than he likes her. I agree with that. As far as why he has yet to choose a woman, I wonder if he may compare the women he dates to the woman that he was married to. And maybe that hinders him from being in a relationship. I don't know. I wonder, but those are just my thoughts or whatever. The family talk about how they're big on family, because he was asking about whether or not they would be a good family for his kids, and they said they're big on family. They'll welcome those kids, just like they were, blood. So it will be no issues there. So all in all, the whole family liked him. Joel gave the right answers. Vernisha likes him, so they were happy. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Jason. Liz brings Jason to meet her family. I believe it was 2 of her sisters and 1 of her brothers. And I was kind of wondering why you ain't bring the dude back that sniffed out David. Why you ain't bring him to sniff out Jason? I guess you didn't want him to run Jason away because he was the last person that you had available. I guess that's what it was. Or maybe they told her, hey, we need you to bring on new people, not the same people. It could have been that. Soon as Jason gets there, girl, Jason could barely say, hey, how y'all doing? He could barely say hello. He could barely greet the people before he put on his persona of, have y'all prayed for the food yet? I would tell y'all, hey, but I really want to show y'all how good I am when I pray. Okay, I want to show y'all how good I am. Okay, so let's go ahead and bow our heads. And I'm just like, Jason, I guess, ain't it? Okay. Now, the brother wanted to know, what's your favorite your favorite scriptures in the Bible? And of course, Jason was like, oh, okay, yeah, these 2 right here. This one speaks about that, and that one over there speaks about whatever. So they were really happy to see that he was in tune with the Lord. Okay, but it's like, girl, some of these people that be in tune be Whole Foods. But okay, if that was enough to sell y'all, fine. Okay, Liz was over there sweating. She was over there, anxious and everything. And the sister was like, girl, why are you so nervous? What's going on with you? And she was like, well, you really making me nervous with all these questions and stuff that you asking. But she said as soon as Jason nailed the prayer at the very beginning, that's what sold everybody on him. Oh, he did it. When he prayed, girl, yes, we was Team Jason already. Okay, girl, the fact that he showed Liz one person and then showed Kyra another person, I don't know about you too much, Jason, but okay then, honey, okay? I will say this, they do look cute when they are together. Like, okay, I can see this happening. But how he played Kyra at the end made me be like, I don't know, girl. Be mindful. And then I also feel like Liz is so wrapped up in, oh my God, Jason, I got a man, mama. I got a man. She's so wrapped up in him that some of the standards that she set for herself, I feel like Jason can talk her into lowering them. You know, as far as not wanting not wanting to have sex before marriage and stuff. So I feel like Jason can put her in a space where she's going to start going against what her standards are and what she has for herself. That's just, you know, what I'm thinking. Okay, but let's go ahead and move on. As he was talking about the Bible and stuff like that, and the sister was like, are you sure, you know, about the situation you have going on with Liz and the relationship? He was like, absolutely, because she showed me everything that I need to see. And then one of the sisters said, oh, you're serious? And he was like, yeah. Girl, congratulations, girl. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Let's move on to Amber and Chris. Okay, so they sit down with the brothers. One of the brothers, I think his name was Keenan. Keenan was not playing with Miss Amber. He was on her head. Okay, he straight up asked her like, why hasn't anybody wrapped you up? She was like, well, the question is, why haven't I allowed them to wrap me up? He said, okay, so you may have some character flaws or something like that. Is there something that we need to explore? What's going on with that? The other brother said, listen, I just want to know if this is real. Okay. And she was like, well, the reality of it is that we're in a process. But, you know, outside of that process, he and I communicate a lot. I'm opening up myself to him more. See, I feel like Amber, in my opinion, gave a lot of the right answers. Y'all know I've been kind of looking at Amber sideways a little bit ever since that whole kiss with Ron and how she tried to downplay that. But it looked like we probably gonna learn a lot more of what's going on with that at the reunion. But I mean, I will say I did, y'all know, for the most part, I haven't been seeing it for Amber and Chris, but I did see it for them. I think it was on last week's episode. I was like, okay, I can see this working. But I do believe this, with whatever information we learn about Amber and Ron on the reunion, it's not gonna matter. Chris came on this show for love, and he's gonna still rock out with Amber no matter what she tells him. I feel like Chris is so blind to find love that he doesn't take heed, just like some of these women take heed to certain things that is happening right in front of him. Just like the whole, and he probably didn't care, you know, like one minute Amber's like, oh, I want to, you know, being a mom is more important than being a wife. And then she flipping that saying, oh, well, I just, you know, 1 to 2 kids is fine with me, or 1 to 3 kids, but I want to be married before the end, and all this other shit. Like how she just switches up so much, and he ain't even paying attention to that because he's so blinded about, oh, I just finally want to have somebody for me. And they could very well still be together, but I wonder how it's going and whether or not she could potentially break his heart sooner than we think. Okay, so that was that. Keenan tells her that the answer she gave was very nice, but you know, they've heard it all before. Okay, Sunshine Anderson heard it all before, all of your lies. Okay, and he wants to know how genuine she is. Amber says, watch her actions, she means what she says, and shit says what she means. Okay, so when we watch your actions and learn that you kissed Ron, we should have believed that, right? And that it was more than what it was, right? Okay, then cool, all right? Because your actions, it's a bit shaky. It's a bit shaky, okay? What else happened? She says that she's the most unfiltered person, but understands the concern that he may have or whatever. The brother says that Amber is finer than the last girl anyway. He also complimented her when she first sat down. I was like, how you? Let me find out you more interested in Amber than Chris, okay? You up here flirting with this lady in front of your brother. Okay, then, I guess. So watch your brother, Chris. Let's go ahead and move on to AJ and Kyra. She has him meet her mom and her good sis. That's not really her sis, but her sis. So they're meeting. They're having to sit down, of course. The best friend immediately started asking questions, okay? You know, just wanted to know a lot. And what did she ask her? She asked her something about, what do you think Kyra wants? I was like, moonwalking, ma'am, ask Kyra what does she want. Y'all over here asking what does she, I wish she would have said, well, I've been trying to figure that out this whole time. What is it that she wants? Because it's me and another guy that she's been battling back and forth with, you know. So I'm trying to figure this out. If you know, let me know. So what do you think Kyra wants? I guess her mom asked about his relationship with his mom. Of course, his relationship with his mom is pretty good. She asked, how does he go about handle conflict in a relationship? He says he likes to hear the woman out, but if he feels like he was disrespected in any capacity, he's going to allow her to get her point out, and then they'll, address the disrespect afterwards. Okay, so her mom felt as though that was a plus. She likes him and everything. And then Kyra says, I don't know what voodoo or whatever AJ puts on these women to get them to like him, or what it is he says. And I'm just like, Kyra, you just don't like him. What do you mean? Why does that have to be voodoo? Why does that have to be magic? Why does that have to be weird? Okay, I don't know what he puts. What it was giving me was, I'm not interested in him like that. So I don't know what it is that he gives to people that makes them feel like, oh, AJ, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was giving me. Like, girl, if you don't like the man, you don't want to be with the man, just say that. And I wish you would have said that when you was back at the ranch. Okay, instead of trying to come back on some get revenge quick plot only to get yourself played in the end. Okay. So, girl, you had this man accept you back under false pretenses, and then you turned around and played him in the end, girl. I ain't got time. So I don't want to hear nothing else about your issues with Mr. Jason, because what Jason may have done to you, you turned around and did to somebody else. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay. The mom asked AJ, what are the next steps? Like, with you dating Kyra, what are the next steps going to be? He said he doesn't know. And, Kyra felt like that wasn't a good question to ask. And it's like, BITCH, how is he going to answer that question when you truthfully haven't given him anything to go off on, but he's still constantly trying to show up to be with you? Okay, he's doing to you what Miss Alexis was doing to him. Yikes. Okay, everybody around here just getting played, child. He says in his past, he's had 4 serious relationships. And I think they said that was an issue. I'm sorry. That was Chris. I'm sorry. Let me, because I want to talk about that. But let me go back up. Yeah. So my thing is, Kyra has just been indecisive this entire process. So some of the questions that were asked to AJ, I kind of felt like they were unfair. Okay. That's just my thoughts on that. I want to hear y'all thoughts and comments down below. The sister did say, listen, I don't feel like neither one of you guys have shown your real selves to each other. And that may very well be true. I definitely believe Kyra hasn't shown, but I feel like AJ has shown a little bit, because like I said, back when he had to release Kyra, that was the most vulnerable I've seen AJ be. And ever since then, it seems like he's tried to open up a bit more and try. So I feel like he may be showing a little bit, but Kyra still ain't showing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Okay, now we get to, hold on, let me go back. Okay, yeah, so we get to Vernisha and Joel. So we get to Vernisha and Joel. She sits down and meets his family, and what we learn right off the bat is territorialness, if that's even a word. It runs in the family. Okay, so Joel should be very used to that by now. Okay, they asked her about her kids, and she's ready to be, like, technically a mom to 5 kids. She said that's fine with me because I've raised kids that were never mine to begin with. I have my 3 kids, but I have other kids outside of that I've taken on a responsibility for. All right. What else was asked about her? Not too much. She ended up leaving, shortly after that, and they tell him, listen, I think that she likes you more than you like her. And he was like, he could see that. So the other sister said, but that's interesting because your wife was like that about you too. Interesting. I don't know what Joel be out here doing to these ladies, but obviously Vernisha, doing the same thing his wife been doing. Okay. Only difference was he married her. We'll see how far he actually goes with Vernisha. I don't know about Joel and whether or not he really wants a relationship. I kind of hope that, because I wanted to see them actually go far, because I think they make a cute couple. But again, I feel like Joel is single because he's not ready to bring anybody into his kid's life, even though he says that he is. I feel like he's not. And I also feel like he may possibly compare the ladies that he meets to his wife, that passed away, So that's what I'm thinking. Okay. I don't think he really wants anything too serious. I don't think he really wants his life to change a whole lot for real. I think he just wants to date around occasionally and it just be him and his kids and moving on. So we'll see how that works. Okay, let's get to Chris. He meets Amber's family. I feel like those were her sisters and her brother as well that he came out to meet. They asked him about his serious relationships. He said he had 4 serious relationships, and I think they said that was a problem, but I never really quite understood what was wrong with that, whether that was a problem. Did he not have enough serious relationships, or do you feel like 4 serious relationships were too many? I didn't quite understand that part because I ain't seen nothing wrong with it. Okay, whether that's all he had or whether that was too many, like I feel like that's enough. Okay, what else was going on? They asked him about how he felt about her being a workaholic and whether or not how he would be able to support her in that. And of course, he said he's not going to let her do the most. He's going to, step in at times when he needs to calm her down. And I do believe Chris when he says that because he's on his whole Zen thing. Okay, so I think that he is going to be able to help her with that. I'm going to go ahead and move on because I really can't remember everything else that Chris and Amber was up there talking about. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to we can talk about Jason and Liz. Okay, so Jason brings Liz to meet his mom. She made a really good impression. The mom asked us right out the gate, I want to talk about money. She's like, okay. Liz like, what you want to know about money? I can tell you about money. Listen, I know what it's like to have money. I know what it's like to be poor. Okay, so I definitely understand that lifestyle. His mom said, well, do you think that you could lead him without him knowing that you're leading him? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? Number one. And number two, I feel like, yes, I feel like all women know how to lead a man without him knowing that she is leading him. I do. I mean, I think so. Liz says that she don't know. She says she's never been married before, but she's believing that, with guidance from the Lord, she'll be able to do, just that. I feel like some of y'all probably been leading a man that didn't even know that that's what you would call it or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know what kind of question that was. If y'all know, please chime down below. But I'm like, yeah, she can lead him without him knowing. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to AJ and Kyra and his mom. I really hate that Kyra went because Kyra was on some BS the whole time, y'all. So I hate that she even got the opportunity to meet his mom. I wish she would have self-eliminated a long time ago, especially after sending her ass to home, okay? We could have done without this camera time. All right, so he's with the mom. She's with the mom. The mom asked a good question. I like the way she presented it. She said, tell me what it is about you. She said, tell me what it is I need to know about you. Woo, girl, I wasn't prepared for that. Well, what do you mean? Tell you what it is you need to know about me. What you mean? And the mom was like, because, you're very intriguing to him and you must mean something to him genuinely for him to introduce you to me and stuff. So tell me what it is that, I need to know about you. The mom asked the question about whether he is serious about her or not because of his history. So because he's been into music, right? He's learned all these different instruments, different ways to do music and stuff. And she relates that back to him dating different people and using them as projects where he's working on this and then he'll drop that and then he'll pick up another project, which is another woman, and then he'll drop her and then pick it up and then drop. So she's trying to gauge where they are in the process and whether or not he's trying to pick her up to drop her off. She's trying to understand that part. Kyra tells the mom that they've always had feelings for each other, but they are now trying to understand each other in order to be together, is what Miss Kyra's saying. Girl, I have nothing to say to that. Because like I said, anything that came out Kyra's mouth was BS to me. All right, she tells her about them dating previously because the mama wants to know about the frustrations. Like, what are the frustrations you guys are having? And Kyra says that, well, we've dated previously, and when we dated, unfortunately, I've had to pay for the meal. The mama did not like what she was hearing. She kind of looked over at him like, you know better. We don't play those games, okay? You was definitely on your alpha boy SHI, honey, okay? And you better be glad it wasn't another woman like me because I wouldn't even be sitting up here next to you today, okay? You would have never gotten another chance from me, honey. All right? Now, that's that on that, okay? We're going to go ahead and move on to them making their decisions at the end of the day, okay? Joel chose Vernisha, and Vernisha chose Joel. All right? They made the final decision. That was really all there was today, y'all. When it came to Chris and Amber, they made the final decision too. He said, I choose you. She said, at first I didn't choose you. Okay. You didn't capture me based on your appearance because you really ain't all that, but your mind is what captured me. So, you know, I rocked out with that. Y'all know how I feel about Amber. I feel like that still BS, okay? He captured you, but you were still out here capturing kisses from someone else. Okay, girl. So let's go ahead and move on to Miss AJ and Kyra. Kyra walked in there doing a walk of shame because she already knew the decision she had made and that she was not going to choose him. AJ played the piano and everything. The song was called I Choose You that he wrote just for Miss Kyra. Okay, so we can tell that AJ got a little bit of romanticism in him. Okay. Now he tells her that he's ready to love her, but she says that she is not ready. She says that she just don't think she's at the place where she feels like she can make a committed, you know, make a decision to be in a committed relationship with him. I feel like, y'all let me know, I feel like she said this because number one, she was never really interested in him. And I hate that because the whole time she was telling us, I don't really know who I want. She knew who she really wanted the whole time. The other thing was, I feel like when it comes to Jason, she still may be banking on Jason and Liz not working out. That's why she couldn't move forward with AJ, because she may still be hoping that there's a chance with Jason somewhere down the line. Okay. I feel like Kyra has a hard time losing. So she probably stayed on Jason's line a little longer. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Now he says that he still wants to see where things go and she has time to make, you know, overall decision on whether or not they are going to be committed. I can understand that a little bit when it comes to Kyra not wanting to make that decision. So I feel like sometimes 2 months is not, I think they would, I don't know how long they filmed this, maybe 2 months. 2 months is not enough time for some people to make a decision on whether or not they want to move forward and actually make this a committed relationship. I understand that, but sometimes on the other end, when you're spending so much time with the person and talking to them so often, sometimes those 2 months can make you feel like you've known somebody for like 6 months or something. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's like, I still feel like she should have known who she was going to choose within these 2 months. But I kind of understand if she's not ready to make an ultimate committed decision with him. I just don't like how Kyra went about playing the game the entire time and ended up playing herself, only to turn around and play AJ right along with her playing herself. Yikes. So that's where they are. AJ says that he was a bit surprised. He said because he thought that they were on the same page. And I'm like, did you think, how were you surprised when you sat down at the ranch knowing that she was still in limbo, only for you to keep her and her tell you she's still in limbo? So how were you surprised that she wasn't going to tell you? Yeah. Like, I'm so confused by that, but I guess, honey. Anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for Ready to Love. Okay, catch me at the reunion, y'all. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below about how you all felt about the episode and everything. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.